Oh, happy Thanksgiving after. We are waiting for Tawny to come on in and we're going to get started. There is Tawny. That is my sis right there. Listen, I'm so excited to talk to y'all. And there is my sis. Hey.
Shalom. Happy holiday weekend.
Yes.
For a lot of us.
Happy holiday weekend.
I know a lot of people like Canada, you guys already had your Thanksgiving, so you're like, you guys are late. But how's everybody doing? If you want to drop like an emoji of how you're feeling during the holidays, I feel like I felt every single emotion because it's a lot, it's a lot also when you can't be with family. Like I miss mine, but I'm happy I'm with Patrick. So usually, I'm not always here with him and the animals. But I also, if you've lost anybody, I know during holidays it can be hard. Also, I'm just gonna say it. I don't know if anybody else can relate, but mine is everybody asking me, like, oh, when are you having the baby? Like, are you gonna have a baby right now? I'm like, I just had brain surgery a year ago. A year ago. Like, take how old I am out. I know, and then that's what everyone says. They're like, well, you're not getting any younger. And I'm like, okay, well, that also doesn't change that, like,
it doesn't change anything.
Give me a breather. And everyone's saying the Black Friday shopping. Are you going out in that craziness? Tanya says, good evening.
I'm not going out in the craziness. And you know what I appreciate, which I just found out why it seems like the world is getting better with trying to understand that Thanksgiving is to be thankful and to spend time with family. And the reason I'm saying that is because you know how a couple years ago it was even still Black Friday, started on Thursday, so everybody never really focused on spending time with family. They were like, oh, let me get ready. Hey, guys, hurry up and eat so we can get outside and stand outside like some crazy people at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and wait for this Black Friday. So with the stores changing that and changing that whole perception of, hey, you got to get out, they're starting to realize, hey, family time is important. So, I'm always going to say something that comes to the point of us survivors understanding that time of community and communion is important for us, for those of us that may be in our own head to say, hey, oh my gosh, I am not comfortable with talking to all these people. I'm not comfortable being around these people because maybe social anxiety, just the reality that you may not be able to speak as great as you were before. Your thoughts are sore, and now all of these are parts of aphasia that we deal with as stroke survivors. So with that being said, I appreciate that the world is starting to hone into, hey, this is family time. We need to be thankful to be around. And then as survivors, to be thankful. And one tip I was telling somebody yesterday that texted me, a survivor, they were like, it's good to be around people, but I get my anxiety starts to get higher because of the simple fact. They're like, I still can't talk that well. And with that being said, can't talk that well. It's like, hey, I want to be in those conversations, but then it was like, well, I don't want people to judge me if my conversation is sore, if my thoughts are sore. Which I was trying to encourage this young lady as it's great to be around people in the conversation because as for my experience, I learn more and I can pick up my language. I can pick up a lot better when I'm around people, and then understanding that it helps me to eventually be able to maneuver conversation a lot better. Because with our aphasia, our thoughts are lost. But then you be in a conversation with somebody, you might be like, hey, I was thinking that, but I couldn't think of that word. Or, hey, that gives me the strength or gives me the ability to, say, I can say a little more being around all these people. It's just, I feel like so you may be uncomfortable, but eventually it helps you to be able to speak to people with learning these different conversations, these different languages.
Totally
Tony, what are you about to say?
Agree. No, and I'm so glad you said the practice. So I can tell you, because I did, and I do still have social anxiety. And I know when I say this to people or when I say aphasia, you see where I am now, but I'm 8 years out from the stroke. Okay. So I've had practice and I totally get that. There were events where I was a lot more quiet and people, and the weird thing is they're like, this isn't like you. And I'm like, I am trying to keep up with all the conversations. Like my brain is different now. There's a lot more things. But now, like my mom has even said it, like every summer we try to be out there for her birthday and we get to see everybody. And she was like, You were driving, the music was on, grandpa was saying something, we were still having a conversation. She's like, you couldn't do that in the beginning. Like if I was talking and someone else said something, like I'm gonna cry, like I would seriously lose the thought and I would do this. I would cry, or sometimes I would get embarrassed. Like, so the fact that now when I stutter or stumble over my words, most of you guys are just like, oh, she just talks too fast and her mouth like can't keep up with it. Or people think I'm like, they're like, oh, she's just too like whatever. And I'm like, no, I just learned to just keep rolling with it. And eventually either it's gonna come out or someone's gonna jump in and help me say what I'm trying to say. So I love that I saw a lot of hearts and that other people
Absolutely,
agree.
because we all can agree. We all can agree because of the simple fact. Oh, Dawn says she is 10 and a half years into it and she's still at it. So, Dawn, we truly appreciate you being that because of the simple fact that it takes us a while. And as I always tell people, as stroke survivors, this is a lifelong process. It's not something that happens overnight. And as we're going, as we're learning to ourselves, we're growing each and every day. We learn something new from talking to people in the community. We learn something new from our own experiences of saying, hey, maybe I was uncomfortable talking in a group of people. Maybe I felt better with the one-on-one conversation, but then you start to see different cues that you can find and that will help you to get through to learn how you want to do it.
Oh, thank you for saying my progress brings hope. That's why we like sharing it, because I know what that feels like. Like I was even starting to be like, I just don't think events are for me anymore. And if you're finding yourself saying that, I just want to encourage you to take it in baby steps. Like, and I try and remind myself, like, you are like a baby being born again. Like we had a stroke, no matter how it was. I don't care if you're going to say mine was a mini, mine was the worst, mine was whatever. You had a freaking stroke. Okay. Your brain is rewiring. Things are different now. And so like I have learned, there's been events where I go to just the beginning when not everybody's there. And then as everybody's coming, like I eat my food and I dip out. Like I'm like, bye, I can't. But I did it. And so like it started there. Like it started with the baby steps. And like I used to a lot of times, and I still do, when I feel uncomfortable, a lot of times I put my glasses on. I don't know why. I feel like Superman, like Clark Kent. It's like I got my disguises on. I don't know why it feels like there's a shield. I usually will have headphones in. I don't have music playing, but it's just to like muffle people so it's not, the noises aren't so loud. So like just doing different things to make it. Yeah, Dawn said I'm still taking baby steps. Like holidays are a lot for everyone, and what's cool is like I used to joke, like I'm like, great, I'm with my grandparents, like I'm the old people having to sit over here and like let everybody like hustle and bustle around. And then I started like just kind of leading into that and loving it. Like I get to have conversations with them, and like I get to see holidays like in a different way.
Absolutely. I think that's wonderful. When you think about it, as Gina said, everybody speak clearly. Everybody says that I speak clearly, but I have a slur in my speech. And so, but at the same time, even with Gina, that right there, as we take our time, we begin to learn. And it's good. And I actually like being around people because some of the things that we may not notice on ourselves, other people may notice, and vice versa. Some of the things that we're hard on ourselves, other people are like, oh, no, you're doing much better. I remember when you couldn't, I remember what you weren't, but we're always going to judge ourselves the worst because we're looking at, oh my gosh, I'm not progressing, but that's a lot of times we're in our head because we may not be where we want to be. But we have to take, just as we're saying, we're taking the baby steps, we have to take the little as a lot. We have to praise ourselves for the little, even though it's, and as we say, it's so, that takes me to, when you see a baby do something very particular, like the baby may be able to put 2 fingers on a bottle, you're going to praise that like, oh my goodness, I remember their hands were like this. They couldn't hold anything. So a baby went from doing this to, hey, now we got 1 finger on, man, we got 2 fingers on. That's the same way we should be for ourselves. Hey, yes, my hand is not working. It's frustrating because I can't open it. Then you get 1 finger up, you're like, oh, okay, now I can hold 1 finger and keep it busy. So things like that, we will praise a baby for, but we're just ourselves. So if we're going to work on taking baby steps, actually, that's a great thing. Our conversation today is to have more grace on yourself, to understand that this is not a race. Yes. I mean, this is not a sprint at all. So we need to take these baby steps. We have to crawl before we can walk. And taking these time to crawl before we walk helps us to back up on our minds, to not be so harsh on ourselves, to say, hey, understanding that it's not going to be perfect all the time and it's going to take some time. But with us saying that, guys, we're saying this because we go through these things.
Yeah.
We're not saying that to say you do it, but we
I've
can't
had to say that to myself.
We completely have to say that to ourselves, but that's what we tell ourselves all the time. This is not so, yes, I'm 5 years, Tony's 8 years plus 1 year.
From a second brain surgery.
Yeah, but she's learned to love that part about herself. She knows that there's difference. She knows that there's changes. She's becoming a better advocate for herself to say, hey, let me give myself more grace because, yes, I am 8 years first from my first stroke, but then, hey, I just had another brain surgery. Guess what? Every time you go back to the hospital, that's a setback because you're talking about, hey, let's do another test for the brain, whether it be angiogram, whatever, but that can take you all the way back to, hey, it was once a situation where I couldn't move at all. It was once a situation where you just literally cut my brain or whatever the case may be. So PTSD is serious. So it takes me to everything, guys. So saying all that to say, do not belittle your thoughts and how you're feeling. All these things are important. I want you to pay attention and understand that it's all important.
Which actually goes exactly what Steven said. He was like, my right brain learned everything over the years. The left side is back in kindergarten. So like back with it. And he goes, I didn't come this far to only come this far. So like that kind of mentality and like knowing that it does add up. Like the small, when they're like baby steps, like it all adds up, it all counts. And like even the things that you sometimes think are silly that doesn't, like the amount of times I found recovery or like some sort of therapeutic moment has not been in like those necessary situations. It's been like out in life trying to do things and like just trying to adapt.
Tanya was saying even going to the grocery stores early in the morning helps her. So it's just little things that people are finding, and that's beautiful. Like, yes, if you feel, hey, I need to go to the grocery store, I get anxiety with so many people, like you said early in the morning. I think about like some of those places, like those big chain, what do they call those?
Costco.
Like a Sam's Club. They'll have the quote unquote elderly hours at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And that's for them because guess what? Think about that. As that could be a relation of elderly and baby. Hey, they need more time. They need to go when it's not so much frustration. They need to go when they can take their time where I have to worry about somebody stepping on their feet or anything. So that may be a situation as we're being advocates for ourselves. We may not be the quote unquote elderly. We may need to work on it. You may be in a situation you will say, hey, I never thought about that. Maybe if your grocery store doesn't find a store that will allow you to come in with that elderly group or with that earlier group, but just having a conversation, guys. Because if you look at it, they are giving them that because they want them to have a little more peace of mind as stroke survivors. And no matter how big or small you may think your disability is, we have this disability. And if it helps you better to be in a situation like that, to have peace, you have to speak up for yourself. And if it's one of those situations you say, hey, I don't know how they were going to react, it's called contact corporate, contact the general manager of the stores and talk to them to figure out, hey, how can I make this happen for myself? Yes, I understand I'm not an elderly person, but this is what I'm dealing with. And to be able, because we want you to have comfort. We truly want you to have comfort with everything.
Exactly. No. And someone was asking, we are live right now. So I know we usually go on Thursdays, but obviously with yesterday being a holiday, I think that that's so important to just talk about. And that also reminding yourself that your timeline is not anybody else's. And every single one of us, though, even though you're like, for you, it happened in this amount of time, to that person, it is never fast enough. It is never easy enough when you're going through it. And the grass is always, you think is greener on the other side. No, the grass is greener where you water it. So like focusing on that and like reminding yourself, like I love having other survivors around me that like inspire me. Like you hearing that you're 10 years out is so helpful because it motivates and inspires me. But I also know that like your path is completely different than mine. And we all have different strengths and different strengths not yet developed. So like like Tracy's so good with working out. That's why I try to be around her. Like also Kenya, like I was like, I want your freaking arms. Like the more I see you guys working out, other survivors, it helps me because even though I look physically fine and it's not a physical limitation, it's all anxiety. Cause like I lived through my aneurysm rupturing and no one believing me for a week. So like when I am working out and your blood is pumping, I have to work on that. So it's been like that kind of journey. So everybody has different like goals and what they are.
I would say Dawn said she went shopping with her brother and sister-in-law about a month ago to Walmart, and they were asking her what's next. And what she said was, give me time. And right there, that's speaking for yourself. Hey, I appreciate y'all helping me. They went to the store to support her, but at the same time, she had to speak up and say, give me time. And that right there, give me time. I may not be as fast, but she had the wills to say it for herself. Hey, give me time. I'll figure it out. And it's not to say she's not mad at them for helping her. It's she's trying to work on herself to build this up for herself to eventually be able to do it by herself. So we're not going to move as fast always, but she understands it. And I appreciate that for her saying that. And obviously, I would say her family would appreciate that, as that may be a lesson they had to learn, because that's what we say. I want conversations to be with your loved ones and caretakers, because it's things they don't understand, as they've never been in your position. So they may feel that they're helping you, and at the same time, some may get offended when you say something like that. So it's a conversation for the both of us to say, hey, I appreciate your support, but I want to try to do this a little better on my own. So support me by going with me and let me figure out and helping me when I need to. So if I say, give me a time, okay, agreeing, let me give you some time and let me just walk with you and see how you do this. But I'm here for your support if you need it. So It's all good, guys. So that's what, again, that just reminded me, this conversation is not always for the survivors and the loved ones. So we appreciate everything, but it's a process for together that we have to learn how to get through this whole lifestyle as a survivor.
Yes. And I love that she asked. So we have been doing, and it's new, on Tuesdays, we open up a Zoom. So Tuesday, as stroke survivors, brain aneurysm, AVM, you please come by with any questions, or just if you want to hang out with other survivors. Sometimes, a lot of times for me, I've learned something every single little meeting we've had, because you don't know what you don't know until someone else is talking. So you are invited. We put the information in the channel. We have started a chat. If you want to be added to that, please message. Good morning. And we usually do our chats on Thursdays. We go live, but with it being Thanksgiving yesterday, we're live today. So it's cool. We're trying to keep with that schedule, but like life was life and things got wild. So we used to work out, but we moved that to just be like a Zoom, because we realized a lot of you guys who watch don't feel comfortable sharing everything live. We totally get that. Me and Tracy, we said, we'll go live, we'll share it, we don't care. But okay, absolutely. Yeah. So the channel, if you go to our little page, you can press right there and it says Tracy and Tawny. You can join right there, or shoot me a message, or I think I added you. I believe you're in the chat and the channel. But again, we are both survivors. So please don't ever, if you're like, hey, I asked you and you didn't add me, message again. It is never intentional. It is always just, I also, yesterday, my husband, I was on the FaceTime with my mother, and all of a sudden he's like, I don't know what happened. The back door is open. The chicken's inside. The cats are, I don't know where. I'm like, Mom, I got to go. Like my zoo is literally exploding right now.
Yeah. So, and I will say, for those of you, like, I know we're on here, and while we're on the Zoom, Tuesday, Zoom, but guys, it's open to anything. Yeah. So if somebody says, hey, I need to do a workout, Tracy, I can show you a workout while we're on Zoom. So we may not be live on the platform with it, but the Zoom is for survivors and loved ones and caretakers. So it's open. It's very unconventional and just organic with whatever it is that y'all want. So you can sit on there, you can have your video on, video off, and it's just a comfort space for you. Some people just sit there and just listen to the conversations. Some people don't even turn their camera on. But again, we want you to know that this is your space, and it's space to come together so we can learn from each other and just continue to advance through this process of being a survivor. Let me see. Crow. My left arm and hand, trying to have positive and productive rehab. Not always happening. Please, can you DM me? Yes, Cora, I got you. But you got my number, right, Cora?
She's in the UK, so maybe that's why not. Do you have WhatsApp? Because I forget to check my WhatsApp. I'm getting better, my internationals. Okay. I love you. Yes. I'm sorry. I forgot about that whole.
Wonderful, Dawn. You don't have to say anything. That is true, Dawn. You can just listen to the support group. And Dawn, I don't know. I think I do have your number. Dawn, have I sent you the link for?
Here, wait. I think while I'm talking, I think I can still. Do I have it? Did I send it to you recently? So I can just drop it in here. Meow, meow.
Add me, please. I think so. So Dawn, I believe I do have your information. I'll send. If not, shoot me a message. But I believe I do. I will send you the link, because we use the same link every week for the Zoom. So once you have that link, You're automatically in it, so we can definitely get that after. Oh, and
I just dropped it, the Instagram. So if you have Instagram, I know not everybody does. So like we both put our phone numbers up on the flyers.
Yes.
So
okay, so
trying to make it.
Okay, guys, so we really just wanted to get on here to, okay, Tanya. I think, Tanya, I have your information too, but definitely, I believe I do have y'all's information. Okay, Tanya just put it in there, so if y'all can hit that link, and if I believe I have y'all's cell phone number, shoot me a message or I'll text y'all. If you shoot me a message in Instagram or shoot me an email, I'll send you my cell phone number.
And I dropped my email and my phone number. I don't know Tracy's off, but you can message me. I can get you in both ways. So we try to help all each other out.
Yes.
Oh, which did we share this in? I shared it in the channel and I forgot the chat. The chat's new, guys, so bear with me.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, guys, we'll put in both. But anyways, like I was saying, this is the holiday time. This was just Thanksgiving. We're just getting into the holiday, but guys, we still got Christmas up. We still got New Year's coming.
We have my birthday on Monday.
Yes. Say it again for those that didn't hear it, Tony.
On Monday, the world was blessed with my birth.
With Tony. Yes, we were. Absolutely blessed with my love right here.
And if you're like, I wish I could love my birthday as much as you do, Tawny, I've grown to love it. As someone who used to hate it, I used to hate getting older, have a stroke, then have a second brain surgery and be like, no, I love it. I love getting older. Aging is a, privilege. Thank you.
Okay, we're about to get off,
yeah,
but I have to ask Steve real fast. Steve, where are you at? He said no Thanksgiving here. He said
because he's in Nova Scotia. Wait, or is it? Oh, gosh, my brain today.
He said it was 4 degrees or below 4 degrees. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I can't remember. He said it on the Zoom a couple times. Dang it! As soon as he says it, is it Scandinavia or Nova Scotia or neither? You're gonna be like, Tawny, who the hell are you talking about?
So,
I got Fred. Yep,
okay,
I was right.
Yeah, he said, yeah, he's in Nova Scotia. Okay.
Yes, my brain.
Yeah, see, she's starting to put it together. I can semi-put people together. I usually can put you together.
I'm getting better.
She's getting better. But guys, we love and appreciate y'all. We will see y'all again Tuesday for Zoom. Love us and caretakers. So if you got some people that you want to get on here, send them our information too so we can add them as well. And we don't have to send it to you all the time. It's the same link. I just open up to be the same link. And
so you can put it in your calendar. If you have it, make it a repeat event. We are going to be there. Both of us are.
Even if you're late, you jump in because we're usually on there 45 minutes to an hour. So definitely come on in. Yeah. But again, guys, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your holiday week. We will catch y'all next week. And shoot us a message if you need anything. You need to talk.
Yes. We know the holidays are hard, so. Oh, good little hearts.
Oh, look how cool that is.
Do a little heart.
That is cool. Oh, I like that. Okay, yeah, we love the weirdest things, guys. We love the weirdest things.
Love you guys. Have a good week. Stay safe out there if you are